Today we're sitting down on the porch with Oliver, a QHS member whose life is as heartwarming as a home-cooked meal. What paths did he follow to get to where he is today? Let's take a stroll down memory lane and see what's been cooking behind the scenes.
Hi, my name is Oliver, and this is my prequel. Wrote it all down so I wouldn't forget. So here goes. I grew up as the second oldest child in the family of 4 children in Detroit, Michigan, where I attended public school until graduation. I have included a photo of my older brother and I when I was only 4 years old. My mother had her own beauty salon. My father had his own automobile dealership and businesses, as well as being a real estate broker. Our family went to church every Sunday, where my father was the president of the Lutheran church. And my mother was head of the choir in the church, and she sang soprano. Every summer, from June to September, between the ages of 7 until 14 years old, I helped out my uncle by working on his farm. It was during the 40s and 50s, so there wasn't any television to watch for entertainment. I learned a lot about agricultural life as I helped plow the fields and bale hay and cared for the farm animals such as cows, horses, chickens, pigs, kittens, and even a dog that followed me everywhere. I learned the importance of hard work and the responsibility of caring for the livestock every day. I milked cows daily and filled pail with a gallon to a gallon and a half of milk for each cow. But we also kept carnation milk on hand because it is an important lesson in life to always have a sense of humor. Carnation milk is certainly grand. Always keep 2 cans on hand. No tits to pull, no shit to pitch. Just punch a hole in the SOB, Sunny Beach. Anyway, sorry about that. Anyways, also, let me see, along with having a sense of humor, a strong work ethics, a responsibility that I learned on the farm, I continued to learn these same life lessons from everything, a paper route and all. I had a paper route. It made rain or shine, sleet or snow. I delivered the Detroit News evening paper to 51 customers on my bicycle after school each day. From time to time along my paper route, I would see old washing machines that people were throwing out. After my papers were delivered, I would go back and load the washing machine on my wagon so I could take them home. Once home, I would take each one apart to see how they were supposed to work and fix them. Fixed 100% of them, of all the washing machines that I took home, which I also sold for cash later on. High school, I played football, also played drums in the high school orchestra and marching band. In addition, I sang in the glee club. God bless my dear parents, because evenings they always knew where I was. I was practicing drumming in their basement on a full set of drums for 2 hours a night for several years. I played jazz, Latin music, orchestra scores, and rock and roll. This led to playing professionally as a licensed union musician and of employment as a drummer with the orchestras and dance bands, and also Motown Sound and cutting records there. I also maintained my dad's 21 rental houses in Detroit. Lessons I learned keeping the barns clean transferred to the city as I literally shoveled shit out of basements and off wood floors inside Dad's houses, where renters kept their dogs locked up, along with a million other misses. Little misses. I also learned about using learning skills such as how to replace window glass, all about painting walls and woodwork and floors, and fixing plumbing, and how to re-shingle roofs. After high school, I enrolled to pursue a dream. I wanted to become a teacher, but after a couple of semesters, I decided this course of study was not for me, so I dropped out. From there, I changed my field of study to pursue an electronics career at a college in Chicago, full-time, year-round, 3.5 years until I graduated. At that time, if a young man were not longer enrolled in college as a full-time student, they were quickly drafted into the military during the Vietnam War. So I enlisted in the U.S. Air Force for a 6-year obligation instead of waiting to be drafted. My first 3 years in the Air Force were spent stateside first. I received training in top secret radio electronics, then was stationed about 3 hours away from where I grew up at a radar station in the Thumb area of the Lower Peninsula of Michigan for 2.5 years. While working my shift at the radar station, I continued to play drums on the weekends in a nearby nightclub, as well as playing for special events such as graduations, anniversaries, and weddings, before finally being deployed to Vietnam for a year where I repaired top secret radio electronics at an air-conditioned workstation, something unheard of by other soldiers in Vietnam. During my off-duty hours at Ben Hoa Vietnam Air Force Base, I was assistant manager of the Hobby Shop Photo Lab, where I helped people develop film and to do enlargements. I also built a little gasoline engine airplane on cables and flew it there. On Sunday, I was permanent altar boy for the Catholic Church, and I became at the Catholic Church. I came back home safely to a wife and a baby that was born Easter Sunday while I was overseas. My first job after the military was as an electrician for the state of Michigan, which didn't pay very well, trying to support a wife and 2 children. This marriage lasted about 10 years before it ended in divorce. Next, I was hired into a General Motors factory on the electrical engineering staff, where I was working when I met my second wife. We were married 24 years until she passed away from lung cancer. Over the 41 years that I worked in electronics, I became a 32nd degree Master Mason, a Shriner, and a Knights Templar. During my time as a Shriner, we held fundraisers to pay for medical care for crippled children and free lodging for parents where their children were being treated at the Chicago Shrine Hospital. I personally became an uncle for 2 children with serious health conditions to receive care in Chicago. I helped their families fill out applications, made arrangements for their transportation, and arrangements for lodging in Chicago for the parents to stay nearby during their child's treatment. The joy that I saw on their faces gave me all the thanks that I needed. My attention for future after my QArc healing bed treatment and rejuvenation is to experience the joy of helping other children and elderly people like myself completely heal from their health issues. The health issues I experience today are breathtaking issues related to asbestos exposure from working around insulated steam pipes that were disturbed in repairing electrical wiring. Also, Vietnam, I was exposed to Agent Orange, which led decades later to prostate and bladder cancer, and also radiation treatments and several surgeries. Such life made me incontinent. I had incontinent after I had surgery on my bladder and prostate. Last summer, I fell off a small wooden bench while pulling weeds in a garden. When I put out my arm to break my fall, I tore ligaments in my shoulder that supports the rotator cuff. My shoulder remained painful despite my best efforts in physical therapy. At night, I would wake up every time I rolled over on my injured shoulder until I began using the Twine Wave device, version 6, and the Q-Vibes Touch phone app, which I credit with helping to control my pain and improve my sleep. The Touch app on my phone is the real miracle. I never fully expected this little 17-minute electronic frequency vibration to give me so many hours of restored sleep every night, instead of waking up in pain every time I roll over. I now sleep a full 8 to 9 hours each night and sometimes sleep until noon. I have never slept this soundly in my life. If the Q-Vibes Touch is this good, I can't wait to have my turn in the QArc healing bed. That's supposed to be the thing. And when I get a hold of that, that'd be great. Anyways, after my body is completely healed, I want the joy of waking up every day pain-free with all of my body parts working. Also, look forward to being able to drive at night again. I want to dance again. When I was around 16 years old, my sister and I won a ballroom dance contest together, dancing the waltz. I would love to dance again in the celebration, my body being healthy and rehabilitated. At my age of 82 years old, I would be able to travel into exotic locations that are on my bucket list with my beautiful lady. I also look forward to explore creative art skills that I never had time to develop when I was working full-time so many hours. I would like to create drawings and paintings to give away to my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and choice from some and give some to my friends that need to spice up their life. So that's my prequel. It's my past history and my intention for where I plan to go in the future. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Join us on the prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.